There is a shocking story that's come out today about a person who is allegedly called Charlotte Anderson. That may not be her real name. She's a disability advocate, or is that what I should be calling her? Who offers benefit claimants a service at £650 a time to advise them how to claim disability payments and how to fill out the personal independence payment form, the PIP form. And that is worth £798.63 per month if you get it right. Now, the only reason this person is in a position to do this, or the only reason this person has come forward to do this, I don't approve of her methodology, I don't approve of her charging for this service, is because things like the PIP form are almost impossible to fill out. If for example, you are in a position where you have a disability and you are greatly stressed or on a regular basis, and you've suddenly got this PIP form, which goes to many pages, and the questions are certainly not straightforward. Without help, it's not something that you can fill out successfully. And you may fill it out and think, well, I've done it all correctly, and then get a call back saying that you don't qualify for any form of disability payments at all. Yet, as far as you're concerned, you've got medical advice and medical facts that make you disabled. And the PIP form is just one of many forms that are impossible for ordinary people to fill out with any degree of sense. And if you ask for advice from the helplines, what you get is rhetorical flourishes and harangued or patronized to the point where, again, you just want the thing to go away. I've had a number of calls from people who've asked me to look through these things. I've looked through a lot of these forms, PIP forms and other forms, and I've thought on every single occasion, if I had to fill out one of those, I wouldn't know what to do. And I've helped people to call up the advice centres. I've listened to some of the appalling advice which is given. And I've also tried to look at these forms on the basis of their English, and I can't fathom what they're trying to say, and what questions they're really asking, and what answers somebody who is genuinely in need is supposed to give. So the real reason why this person is in a position to offer services, and I don't think she should, is because the system is broken and because the forms are incomprehensible. And if the forms are incomprehensible, then we need to change them. We need to make sure it's not simply a matter of using simple English, which we should be doing. We should be using English which is absolutely clear. But I think at the same time, we should also be offering guidance about what information we're looking for if we're asking a question. What is the purpose of this question? Because if the idea is to trick somebody, then the purpose is simply to trick somebody. It's an IQ test. The whole point about the IQ test is the IQ test was originally designed not to measure somebody's ability, but to measure somebody's disability. And it was all based on the work of an anthropologist and eugenicist, Sir Francis Galton, who published stuff about human intelligence. And he introduced an idea that we could measure intelligence by testing people's performance in receptive tasks. And he influenced a French psychologist, a person called Alfred Binet, and a person who worked with him called Theodore Simon. And in 1904, the Minister of Public Instruction in Paris established a commission to examine and develop tests to ensure that intellectually disabled children could receive an adequate education. And Binet and Simon began by developing questions that cannot be, or that are not routinely asked in the classroom, to measure attention, memory, problem-solving skills. And they came up with a test that I think had 30 questions in it and was known as the Binet-Simon scale. And that, I think, was the first recognized IQ test. So the IQ test was not designed to measure somebody's magnificent intelligence, but to identify those people who were falling below normal attainment. And it's that list of that methodology has then been adapted, and it now identifies people who belong to Mensa. But it requires a certain amount of skill. I don't think you can be trained to improve your IQ, but you have to be trained to a certain level in order to do an IQ test. If you're going to get anything like the sort of results that measure your actual ability. It's about verbal and non-verbal reasoning and all that sort of rubbish. I've taught lessons in this, and I must say I find the process fatuous. But I concede it might be possible that there is a standard test that you can do that might measure somebody's ability to process basic tasks. But it puts it all into perspective when you recognize that the people who invented this thing invented it to catch people out, rather than to praise people for how brilliant they are. And I think the same issue is true of British bureaucracy. It's not there to help people. It's there to catch people out. And we need to change that methodology. Because even if we've got people who are on hand to help you fill out, and they will tell you that they're helping you fill out, this is just rhetoric. It means nothing. Because help you fill out is try to catch you out. Try to catch you out. We should be mindful of the language we use, and we should use that language correctly. If we want to catch people out, we need to tell them, we're here to catch you out. That's our duty. This is a test. We're here to trap you. And if you're here to help us, well then say that and offer the real help. Offer guidance and make it clear what information you want. And if you don't, I'm afraid it's an open invitation to more people to offer their services in this slightly suspect market. And I'm not sure that Charlotte Anderson can be praised for what she's offering, but there is a hole that she is filling. There is a vacuum that she is filling because the help centres do not provide real help to people who are stressed and in need of help in filling out these forms. Do you know, in the case of the PIP stuff, if you don't fill out that PIP form, everything stops. And if you are dependent on disability allowance, and you suddenly have a PIP form to fill out, and you don't know how to do it, suddenly you have no money. Now that must be very frightening. Very frightening indeed.